I quit. Welcome to the show. I didn't quit. That was only Clark will probably understand that reference if he even watched wrestling last night.
Yeah.
Wrestler straight up quit. Today on the show, we're looking at Mavic 2 Pro. Is it Mavic 2 Pro? Mavic Pro 2. Mavic 2 Pro.
Johnny 5.
All right, that too. We're looking at Mavic 2.
I actually don't know.
Yeah, this is Mavic 2 Pro. We're looking at Mavic 2 Pro footage. Our dear friend and community member, longtime member, Geoff from Miami. He's a big Will Smith fan. That's why he moved to Miami. No? Yeah. Geoff got his hands on one a little early. Sent me a note, and I said, of course, we'd love to see some footage. So what we have is some footage from Geoff. Him kind of playing around. It's not anything like crazy high-end. It's just him doing us a favor and shooting some footage. Jeff got his hands on it, of course, and then Jeff took the footage, ran it through DaVinci, ran it through a full grade cycle. And so we're going to kind of look at that. One of the things that we discovered is, to me, pretty eye-opening and makes me more excited for that drone than I thought I was going to be. And then Jeff has, of course, his normal old opinion.
Yeah.
Geoff is in the chat, so we'll see what the settings are, because I'd never bothered to ask him. Doesn't really matter. I know that the footage was 29.97, but I did do a little conform trick to 24 just because I think it plays back better with less jutters. So that's what we're going to do, is look at some Mavic 2 Pro footage on this episode. On this very special
2 Pro.
Magic 2.
Yeah, it's a typo by
All
Geoff.
right, guys, we've changed the channel. This is a Magic 2 Friday Night Magic channel.
Friday Night Magic.
Did you? I fired off a Friday Night Magic joke the other day in front of a client, and they were laughing. And then that lets me know they're secretly Friday Night Magic people, or complete a-holes. Either way.
Well, if that client could be both.
Yeah,
but I kind of like it that way.
I can't remember. We've had so many clients. I actually don't. They're all becoming one.
I think I remember which one it was.
It's like the Transformer Megasaurus. That's not what it's called. That's what poor kids in the South had. We had Megasaurus. It was a dinosaur that had a dump truck. And wait, the Autobots, the Dinobots were
Dinobots?
Yeah.
But they were dinosaurs.
But didn't they turn into Constructibots?
I think so.
Else? Down here we just
took GoBots too down here.
We did have GoBots.
I know that was everywhere, I know, but
that also dates the crap out of
that kind of feels like the southern.
I always wanted the Constructicons, I think they were called.
Yeah.
Because, but my parents wouldn't give them to me because they knew I'd lose one, and then the big Constructibot or whatever you build out of it was worthless. So I just took a bunch of Tonka trucks and glued them to G.I. Joes. Does that work?
There you go. Sure.
And that's how I began my career in film. Polar Pop. Okay, so let's talk about some of this footage, and we'll show it relatively early because we've got a lot to do today, and people want to see footage, talk about footage. Let's talk about the beers we're drinking. These are from Atlanta, but we don't know where in Atlanta.
No, these are actually from Ohio.
They're from Ohio, but we got them in Atlanta.
We got them in Atlanta, yeah.
This is from a brewer that...
Riverton.
Is called Riverton. And this is batch number 27, old school / new school IPA.
Yeah.
Why I got these is because somewhere on here it says small batch.
Yeah.
Basically, these are only brewed one time and they never brew them again. That's what they say. But that's what they said about Ghost in the Machine, and
they lied.
The market is flooded. So apparently this beer is good and rare in the sense that it'll never be made again.
We hope.
We hope.
Not saying it's bad.
And this will be a nice... I've actually cheated and had one of these. Jeff has not. Have you had one of these?
Yeah, we tried it already together.
No, never mind. We did enjoy this beer already. But
we have tried.
Watch us enjoy it again for the second time.
As I just smell it.
It's not bad. It's a little watery.
I got Hopness Monster in there, too.
Oh, that's pretty tasty.
For a second beer.
Yeah, for a second. No second beers today for me. You can second beer all day.
There might be a fourth beer today.
A fourth beer, 4 beers. 4 beer challenge.
Might have already drank 3 before.
I've also found that there's a little spotlight right here.
There is.
That you can put your beer in to get a little extra glow. See?
Very cool.
Look at that. People are watching the show that just want to see Mavic 2 footage, and they're like, these guys are a-holes.
Exactly.
All right, so we'll jump into looking at the
though.
footage. We're just going to show it straight up in front. It does have some grade wipes in it, like, you know, the little log to...
The classic grade wipe.
Yeah. Some of them have 50%. You'll see a pretty big difference in some of those, and we'll just kind of let it play. I think it's pretty important, especially when you get towards the end, and we'll discuss why that's so important, why that's so fascinating, and how it's pretty awesome. Geoff and Geoff.
Yeah, true.
Made something really cool that I think will be exciting.
Geoff's. It's a very neutralized kind of grade thing too.
Nothing super fancy in this. It's just, let's just look at the footage and neutralize it and take a look.
That's really what it was.
And, you know, again, it is what it is. But I will say, I'm pretty impressed, though we can tear it apart here in a minute. Here's the actual little clip so that the people that only came here to watch this can just watch it and go away. All right, there we go. That's the footage. I think it looks pretty good. I think the D-Log looks pretty good. Personally, from absolute first glance at any of this stuff, I'm not a super heavy drone guy. That's not like super our jam, but every once in a while when something comes along that makes for nice, pretty images, it makes me happy. But first glance, my gosh, it's pretty solid. Where I'm so excited is seeing what DJI is doing with that Hasselblad purchase, and seeing how they incorporate it in. So I think that stuff looks fantastic, and I'm still saving my favorite portion to discuss here in a minute. But Geoff kind of graded it. You kind of want to talk about, you just saying some stuff while we were looking at it.
Yeah, I didn't push it very far in that stuff. Pushed it to where it normally go quickly with something. Didn't change, didn't qualify out the greens and move them around. I didn't qualify out colors. I just did a saturation boost and an expand basically on everything.
Just straight up one-to-one.
Yeah.
Because you turned that around pretty quick. We got the footage late yesterday. Geoff worked on it this morning just so we could have some content. As you saw one of my other blog videos, every time we make content, it costs us something, but we had time, and Geoff was able to do that fairly quickly. So it's not like super in-depth.
Yeah.
What's crazy...
And it's also fun to get new footage.
It is.
New cameras.
New cameras. It's always fun to explore that stuff. Where I was fascinated by it is, you know, we have a Phantom 4 Pro, and we shoot a lot with when we use it, or somebody else uses it, or I fly it with somebody else, whatever it is. We shoot a lot in the D-Log and that, and I've always felt it was a little bit mushy. No matter what we did, flying ND on it, doing all the right stuff, setting the shutter angle, doing everything I can, it always feels a little bit mushy. And to me, it requires a lot more work. That's just a personal thing.
Yeah, it doesn't take very much work at all to get it started.
Not this stuff.
No.
This stuff looked like night and day.
Went quickly.
I'd be very confident using this stuff. Like if I had to grade it, I could neutralize it, bump it up, and get it where I wanted very quickly. The D-Log looks fantastic. Now, some of this does go, we contribute some of this towards Geoff. Geoff, that's what we say. Because he obviously had his exposure set and everything set well, but like, my gosh, man. And Geoff, feel free to jump in. I don't know what your settings were. You could just say automatic if you wanted to. I don't really care, but whatever happened.
If they weren't automatic.
Yeah. Or I'd lie either way and just be like, no, I'm a pro. Because But whatever they might be.
Because you're still faking it till you make it.
That's what I do every day.
That was a late. Took a long time for me.
But that stuff held up really well. And the more Geoff monkeyed with it, like he didn't do a lot. You had some rolling grades though, didn't you?
No, I had a couple rolling grades on the D-Log just to see where it would go with that.
Like on the clouds. And
it's not like big stuff. Yeah, I basically qualified. Masked out clouds, stuff
and in fairness, Geoff gave us more than we needed. We had some 4K normal color, I think. Yeah. I just didn't really see the point in showing that. Somebody might, and maybe I'll put out an expanded video that has that in it. But
yeah, I think we should for what I was telling you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because there's this one building that Geoff did that in the 8-bit regular color and the 10-bit normal color, both of them, it looks like there's not much information there, but I could dial it back.
Right.
To a certain extent. I mean, some of it was blown out, some of it's not. But it was nice to see the amount that you could pull it back. It had a decent little roll-off with it.
It really did.
So it was kind of nice to see.
The exciting part to me, the space where I was the most floored by it, was actually let's just cue it up and talk through it. I think that's more valuable. Let me change the audio over to the correct gimmick here. We want that, and then we want to turn this gimmick down here off. All right, so we'll replay the footage. Is there any questions or anything?
No, it's Geoff saying the settings and everything in here.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
There we go. So let's take a look at the footage and we'll just kind of talk through it. I'm going to let it loop and then I'll point out the spot that I'm super stoked about in doing this. So, yes, it worked. I did it.
Yeah.
So you can see in the 8-bit, like, there's not really a whole
8-bit,
lot.
I mean, the contrast is pretty good in it already, and it's got a pretty decent saturation.
Right.
It's a little on the cold side, really.
Yeah, you can see that. You can see a little warmth brought back into it. But it's nothing super dramatic. It's when you start to get in this D-Log where visually, obviously, you're going from log to something else. Now, this is a split screen. The left side is completely neutralized on that previous shot. This, you can see it in the highlights. Did you do a grade on those clouds, separate grade pass?
No.
Wow.
It's all the same pass, yeah.
This one has a rolling grade?
That has a rolling grade for the shadows because that's a big cloud thing to go through.
Yeah.
So I brought the shadows up in that section, then rolling back down when you get out of it.
Yeah, there you go. I just wanted to show a couple of split screen. The vibrance looks good. It doesn't look washed out. Everything holds up really well. To me, visually,
even the cloud structure holds up pretty well, which is usually a big spot people lose quickly.
The punch, the fact that Geoff did not have a bunch of filters. I don't think he had filters on here. I don't think they make them for it yet.
He had no ND filters.
Yeah, so the fact that that shot particularly looked phenomenal to me once we started seeing the grade come through. There's some highlight, there's some dynamic range in that shot, and you can kind of see it all over the place. Like, things are holding up, they're not turning to mush. This is just so strikingly beautiful from a log perspective, and Geoff did not monkey with the greens.
No, and Geoff actually was really good with giving me that guy with no shirt on.
Yeah.
Typical southern
it's a good skin
beach thing right there.
This is the stuff I get excited about. I think this HLG to Rec 709, using your little magic LUT that you've created that one day will sell, this stuff is mind-blowingly good looking to me. If I were flying a drone, I think I would fly that. I think I would fly an HLG knowing I had a way of grading it to that point.
HLG, I'm kind of stuck between the HLG and the D-Log.
I just think shot for shot,
the HLG
this
is
got
really
more
nice.
detail. It's just got way more detail in it. It's going to loop here in a second.
Yeah.
It's got way more detail. To me, the HLG stuff, just the highlight, the details in the highlights are insane to me. I think it's a much more pleasing image. Certainly,
I know it is.
The 4K 8-bit's fine if you're just monkeying around, and the D-Log's fine if you're monkeying around, but that HLG...
The other thing for me is the HLG has a little bit of a interesting, almost blooming effect to it.
Yeah, it really does.
Which I actually like it. It looks more like film.
That's true. That's very true. yeah, so you can kind of see, to me, very pleasing. I don't think I've gotten anything quite this pleasing out of a Phantom 4 or Phantom 4 Pro in a very long time.
Yeah.
In a very long time. That's just me.
Especially when you're
even taking
through...
the time to set the settings for commercials and doing all that stuff. And I know Father Tone Change is here. And that's not a zing on you, Father Tone Change. I'm just saying, because we just did a commercial with him. I'm just saying, I don't think the sensor in that camera is nearly as good as this one. I feel like this is way better.
Yeah. And I think the taking lens is way better.
Yeah, the taking lens is way
they
better.
finally really integrated Hasselblad.
Yeah. This HLG is coming up here in a second. When it does, just pay attention. I think it is outstandingly gorgeous and holds up extremely, extremely well. And again, it comes down to shooting it. There's other little things that you could probably do. If this were a pro gig or whatever, this is literally sample footage, like thrown together by our friend Geoff, who's in the chat ski here, but I'm sure you can hit him up on his YouTube channel. There you go. There's the HLG. Look at the clarity. To me, there's just something about it just punches way better. Now, the only thing I did that is personal preference, I said this at the beginning. Bring it back to us.
Yeah.
Said this at the beginning was Geoff shot at 29.97. Not a fan of that, so I did conform it to 23.976, which slows the footage down just ever so slightly. And it does a good job. It's a good way of kind of hacking your slow-mo. Like if you don't have 48 like the Phantom 4 Pro does, and I don't think the Mavic 2 Pro has it. I don't have all the specs in front of me for that. I'm not going to pretend like I do.
Yeah.
I don't think the Mavic 2 Pro has 48.
No.
Which you know me, which is my jam for most of this stuff.
Father Tone Change said, I think the UHD 24, 25, 30 max res frame per second might be a limit, knowing how we shoot.
Yeah.
Which is true.
Yeah. I mean, I'd probably shoot, if it goes up to 30, if it does 29.97, I'll shoot 29 and then ask the pilot to slow down, also knowing that I'll get a 29.97 to, I get a little bit of time back. It's not much, but it's just a kiss. I'll take as much as I can if I had to. I just like the image. That's where I'm more impressed by it. And, that's just a personal thing in that space of doing that. Now, what else does that mean? Well, it means that we have HLG that on a Rec 2020 television in the correct space. I'm sure MPEG may have mentioned this already, but that's HDR. Like you're sitting in HDR space right away. In fact, we could probably take some of these clips and HDR them and throw them up there and see if they trigger. In fact, I think I will.
Yeah, because it is an H.265.
Well, we have the RAW. Geoff sent those to us. Actually, Geoff, I never asked you, did you transcode those? I don't know. But if you didn't, if that's the RAW, I think they're straight footage. Yeah. If that's the case, we should have the ability to upload some RAW footage directly to YouTube, and it should trigger HDR on an HLG equipped television like our Sony or our Vizio series or whatever else you might have that has HLG, which I think is great if you just wanted to throw some footage up there and show off 4K. But I think visually, the HLG to Rec 709 content is phenomenal. I think that is just night and day gorgeous. It looks completely... has a different feel than D-Log. It's almost like... We've always said all shooting profiles are like film stocks, and this feels like it has a completely different film stock.
Yeah, it does feel different.
But you had some issues early on. You weren't super floored with it when you were grading it earlier.
No, I mean, honestly, most of it I wasn't overly floored with it.
And this isn't a slam on you, Geoff. This has nothing to do with you.
No, Geoff already mentioned in one spot the big thing that really turned me off is the rolling shutter problem that it's having.
Did I keep that shot in there? I didn't pay attention.
I think you did. I actually wasn't paying attention either.
Yeah. It was kind of hard to see.
But yeah, and that one shot was the one shot that was very easy to tell that it was there.
Yeah. And now I don't know if that's going to be a bigger issue down the road.
It could be.
Yeah. Do you remember which one it was? You keep talking.
Yeah, it's in D-Log.
But I mean, I'll try and add it here and see if we
can
show everybody.
Well, we have any thoughts on editing with H.265? Usually, actually, with the H.265, I really like the transcode, but that Mavic 2 Pro stuff, the way that it is written in its H.265, weirdly played great in DaVinci.
It did not play so great in Premiere.
Okay.
No,
because usually DJI
had some
footage for me never plays very well. I always have to transcode that stuff.
All right, can you kind of look at these? Sorry to do this. We just want to show you guys. No, it's not that one.
Nope. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. It's
like a building or something.
Yes, before, not that one. Keep going one more. Right there. You do have it in there. Now they'll see it's the shadow spot, but when it comes out of the shadow.
In this one? I thought it was like...
No, it was that one. Keep going. Back to the one you were at.
Yeah?
Scroll past the shadow area. Keep going. So this building's right back there.
Oh, yeah.
The closer you get, the more it starts to do it. Your 24 might help get rid of it. See? Yeah. That's that shot.
All right. Hold on. I think I found the shot so we can show you guys the rolling shutter gimmick. Geoff mentioned. So, what you're going to want to do when we put this on screen, what you're going to want to do when we put this on screen is there's going to be a building kind of in the center lower third. It's a taupe. Is that taupe?
Yeah. Well, it's also that whole group of buildings right behind the road.
And then the group of buildings right behind the road. So look in center screen and you might see it. It's going to be kind of tricky. This is YouTube, but it's going to be kind of tricky. Let's see. I should still have audio. There you go. So you should be able to see it right into there. Just look for a little bit of wobble. Now, are we sure that that's not...
That's a rolling.
You sure that's rolling and not just like a little judder from the wind? How windy was it? I don't see the trees blowing.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's a very windy day.
Yeah.
It just turns into jello.
Yeah, I see it there. So if you look at the building, that's where I can find it the most. If you look at the building in the bottom third of the frame, you can kind of see it there. It's pretty noticeable, and I did notice it in some other shots once Geoff pointed it out. You know, again, if I were doing a feature or a high-end project, I would be a little concerned in that space of what I would be dealing with. And this is even slowed down, so
Geoff said it was very windy. Well, good job, Geoff, because that's some pretty good,
that's great
stable
flying,
stuff.
Man. Though in this particular shot, it doesn't seem super windy because the trees
doesn't seem that way.
The trees are not blowing.
Like 18 miles an hour. Dang, that is pretty windy.
Oh. There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's the rolling shutter gimmick that we were referring to. It could be a problem in the future. Or spending more time with it. Geoff is the first person I know that has one that I had access to. So it could show up more and more if we see it. I'm hoping somebody makes some ND for it, a polarizer for it, those little gimmicks to kind of help cut through it just a pinch. But you know what, frankly, I don't need so much ND on the front of my drone that I'm shooting a 2.8. I just don't, I'm not good enough to do that. I know very few people that probably could shoot in that kind of capacity. But again, I like the HLG portion of that. Just seeing what anything?
Not really. Talking about HLG.
Oh yeah.
And HDR edit ready.
Oh yes, I was going to say. So interestingly enough, we have not done this test. Edit ready. I opened it today because I had some drone footage from a project that I'm currently working on, and I opened it today to transcode the footage, the Phantom 4 Pro footage, and I noticed there was an update, and inside the Edit Ready update, it said that Edit Ready would now do H.265, so I dug around a little bit, and it does, in fact, do an H.265 transcode, or I'm sorry, encode, not a transcode. It's an encode that you can then use for delivery. So it's a delivery version of 265, which is amazing. So we're going to test it with some footage later on. We're going to take something that we know already triggers, something small, that triggers an HDR that's come out of like DaVinci, and then we're going to see if the metadata will play through on Edit Ready. But if you're not using Edit Ready and you need to do massive amounts of transcodes, of course you can always do the old Premiere gimmick and use media encoder. However, I'll just tell you, Edit Ready seems way faster in my opinion, and it just, to me, it just does a better job. We first used it on Heirloom when we had to transcode all that crazy H.265 or whatever it was, that wacky stuff for Heirloom. So we couldn't look at dailies without transcodes, and it did a phenomenal job, and it was very quick. And in fact, all we had was this laptop to look at our dailies. So it did a good job. Like, we would let it run for a couple hours, go have some beers, have dinner, hang out with the crew, and review stuff. So if you're not using Edit Ready, I highly suggest it. I think it is the most efficient version.
I do think it's the most efficient transcoder out there.
I like it a lot. They even have a version where you can apply a LUT. So if like you had to make dailies,
Mm-hmm.
you might be able to make dailies, especially if you have a LUT that, and you know, you don't have to go clip by clip, but if you
Yeah.
kind of mass dump it that way.
Yeah, I should say it's the best that I know that is cheap.
Yeah, there's some higher end stuff, like getting a light iron.
But still,
and a light jump.
yeah, Pomfort's got a really awesome one, but it's quite expensive. Scratch isn't terribly expensive, Scratch Play, but you're still it's $70 a month kind of thing for it. So
If
for
you're not
most
grading
people,
it,
most people, Edit Ready's the place to go. It's better.
Most
than
people that
media
shoot
code.
on like GH5s
Yeah,
and all that.
that's what I'm saying.
And that's why,
Because,
like, I don't care about transcodes. If you think about it, if you transcode to a good
Yeah.
negative, whether it's ProRes 422 or ProRes 444 from your originals, then you've got a great archival piece, and you're good to go. Like you can work off of those, and it plays way better on a Mac. You can even do it with Avid.
Yep.
It works. I mean, it's got.
And
all the
also,
flavors.
Trev just brought up another one, Rocky Mountain, which is a really
Rocky
good
Mountain's
one.
good.
It's a little slower though.
It's right there.
Yeah, I'm looking for it.
Hello, Espen Vikings.
No.
Rocky Mountain's very popular.
It is.
There was some issue I didn't like about Rocky Mountain. I don't remember now.
Well, one was it was just slower than Edit Ready for us when we
Yeah.
were using it.
Yeah, but there's some other thing. Like I just didn't like the interface.
Yeah,
You had to be like smart, and we know I'm not that.
yeah,
So
I could get it to work.
No!
take that, evildoer.
That's fine.
Yeah, so that's the Mavic footage. Maybe a short live stream today because we're busy, but that's what we got. If you guys
Yeah.
don't have any more questions or thoughts, I see MPEG blowing it up down there. Would you like to see the Mavic footage one more time? I can do that.
Convert 4.
I don't know Convert.
I don't either actually. Don't know that one.
I've not used it, MPEG.
Yeah.
MPEG's asking about Convert 4 for those that aren't seeing it there.
Probably saw it when we were doing the heirloom thing when we were trying to find stuff we could use the transcode quickly.
You got to get off CS6. I will tell you this. I was a longtime CS6 user and grumpy in my ways about getting away from paying this.
You're gonna have to. You're gonna get forced out of it.
I have found now that Premiere has done a way better job. Not every update. I haven't updated to the newest thing.
Yeah. I haven't either. It reminds me every day.
They've done a way better job in balancing it back out. I will say this. It's like, I don't mind paying for it. It's cost of doing business. If you're just plinking around and just having fun at home, then keep 6. But if you're doing anything serious, I would probably go ahead and upgrade. Maybe not all the way, but I'd get pretty far down the road if you can.
Yeah, I go to at least CC 18.
Yeah, but whatever
beginning of the
flavor.
year.
Yeah. I don't know what flavor anymore.
That's the thing I hate about Adobe, actually.
Yeah.
My biggest complaint is that they are on a very consistent update.
Yeah.
But they never fix everything.
No.
They just slightly fix some things, which also breaks other things.
Yeah, they're
But then you
notorious
have
for
to
that.
keep, yeah.
The other thing I haven't tested is to see what the transcode time would be on this Mavic footage because it was delivered to us in a MOV but 265 wrapper. Is that right?
No, these were H265s. I think they're MOVs.
I think it's MOV wrapper around the 265 file.
Yeah, I don't remember. I remember looking at it,
Yeah.
but I can't remember what it was. I know what I delivered to you was MOV.
Yeah. ProRes.
Yeah, there were
sports.
422s.
422s.
Through TU.
So there you go. That was 422 footage.
Yeah.
Now the stuff, when I post this later, I'll post the video up, the raw stuff, and I'll post it up there at 4K because Geoff was nice enough to give it to us in 4K. So you'll get it back in 4K. So you guys can look at it. I may even throw it up. If you don't, if you ever want to see, if you hate YouTube for quality content reasons, you just like the content but maybe not the quality, I try and post the stuff that I think is really pretty. I try and post on our Vimeo channel. So I'll probably throw this up on Vimeo channel. It'll have the same graphic package just because Geoff shot it, and he deserves to have the credit where it's due. So you'll see that stuff over there. I see a question.
No, not a question.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just say it here too. For Technopilot, that's awesome, man. Said that he just used the GH5 as a C-cam along with 2 FS7s for Canada's CBC broadcaster.
There you go.
They love the footage. In fact, his DP liked the GH5 the best.
See? There you go. GH5 beating out the FS7s. It's going to happen. But it's probably because Techno shot it. Right, Techno? Because you're an ace in the hole. So I still think it comes down to the DP. I'm looking, like you guys can't see it, I wish I could pan it, but I am looking through into Jeff's office. That up on the old Sony monitor there, the HDR monitor, I'm looking, and Jeff has a beautiful time lapse. And when I saw it the other day, can I talk about that?
Yeah, you can. I was going to tease it on Instagram actually today,
follow,
or on the craft show one. I haven't figured out which one yet.
It's your choice.
I know.
But Jeff did a time lapse that is absolutely beautiful, and he shot it with his damn cell phone, and it is gorgeous. I mean, of course, he also took his footage into DaVinci and graded it.
I did. Just a little bit. Actually, you know what I really did mostly, though, is to do it for the white bars.
Yeah.
Just because anybody on here that follows my Instagram, I know. It's a conform thing, basically.
I get it.
Because I actually graded it to look like
Which
my
goes
Instagram
back to the same
account.
point. Like, there's no reason why you cannot just shoot on whatever you got. Like, mixing footage, I think that episode drops tomorrow, or of me, my rant on it. But, like, mixing footage is never an issue, and if a cell phone does it for you, then do it. Just use it. It's all about post. That's why I think it's kind of weird people get super focused on the camera, but nobody really spends
Honestly, the thing that scared me so far is my wife's phone, the 8.
Yeah.
For the lowest of the dual camera things, because that stuff actually looks...
Oh, it's great.
And yeah, I've shot stuff with it and shown it to you. It's kind of floors me how good that camera is.
Yeah, and it's a cell phone camera.
Yeah.
Like, there are things... I mean, I wouldn't use it. It's not super cinematic, not like...
No, not at all.
It can do what it needs to do.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me a question earlier about Cine lenses versus a Sigma Art. It wasn't in this chat. It was just in general in case this person watches. I can't really compare a Cine lens to a Sigma Art lens. They're vastly different. So if you're just looking for out-of-focus bokeh, then I would suggest finding an older vintage lens. But if you're looking for kind of a workhorse, then I would look at a Sigma Art. If you're really wanting truly cinematic-looking footage, I would hire an art department. I've said that before.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to that. If you're just talking about... If cinematic to you means out-of-focus backgrounds with super amounts of bokeh, I would go find a series of vintage lenses and use one of those. That's what I think is going to end up giving you that vibe, way more than a Sigma Art. Like, otherwise, you're going to shoot... to me, the only time the Sigma Art looks super cinematic is when I take the lens and walk it way close.
Yeah.
Either walk to 18 in or step off like 5 feet with the 35 side of the lens, and then I can make it look kind of cinematic, quote. Not to me, but to some. That's what I would say.
Cool.
And that's just personal.
Yeah.
All right, so there's a bunch of orange. What's going on?
Well, first is a question before the orange. Does CRFTSHO own a drone? Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. We have a Phantom 4 Pro.
Yep.
But soon we're going to have a Mavic 2 Pro.
Yep. And possibly a pilot named Geoff.
Don't tease him.
No, exactly. Sorry, Geoff. You don't want to move.
Nobody wakeboards up here, Geoff.
No.
They just surf on the bodies of our dead.
Or they actually do surf, but it's like a...
Yeah, it's like a wave.
It's a wave about this tall. Yeah. Might be a foot.
Yeah.
Unless hurricanes.
And they get bit by a shark.
You
did? A lot of shark bites here.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Going up here. Any tips for encoding long GOP footage on a PC? Cineform or DNX?
That's a Geoff question.
DNX for editing, Cineform to actually do the final... Matters on what you're trying to do. If you're doing offline, online, DNX. If you're just trying to work the footage by itself, I'd say Cineform. See, at CRFTSHO, actually, I'm still working on whether I grade my time lapses in Premiere or DaVinci. I would say DaVinci and use their OpenFX if you get the flickers. Go into the OpenFX of DaVinci, do deflicker at the very first node that you have, set it up for time lapse.
Boom, done. Look at this. This is like speed answers. Go. Keep going. I love these speed answers.
Oh, here we go. This one's for you. I have an answer for this one, though. Drew, any appeal of the Nikon for you since it can output 10-bit full-frame video?
Nope.
Yes. But mine's not. I'm an old Nikon Pentax stills guy, so I'm kind of excited that you possibly could do video and... I hated with both.
Look, I don't like.
I love Pentax and I love
hooking
Nikon.
a bunch of crap to a camera.
I don't either.
You know that. I can't stand hooking gimmicks to a camera. Like, that's like, you know what? To me, it's just a personal thing. Like, the more crap I have to hook onto a camera is like wearing a belt with a bunch of like you want a Batman belt. Yeah. Okay, Batman belts are cool until you go into public, and then it's annoying to me. So sometimes I don't want all the gack on my camera because it's just not for me.
See, for me, the other is I don't want to look like our good friend Dan and have 6 cameras on me so that I can have a stills camera, another stills camera, and then a video camera.
That said, I'll eat my words, which I've done multiple times on this show, if that footage turns out as good as I think it does. Nikon lenses also focus backwards and it drives me crazy.
True.
Isn't that right?
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've even touched one because I got so angry.
Since we've gone digital, I don't know if they do or not anymore.
They used to.
Yeah. Okay. MPEG, I agree with you. His wife just got an iPhone X too, and suddenly everybody thinks she bought a pro camera.
Oh, good for her.
That's what everybody thinks my wife did too. Is the LUTS 7.5 the best wide angle option for GH5? Never used it.
We don't do a lot of wide angle. I'm not a big fan.
I know somebody did a really good review of it. YC Imaging on YouTube. He did a really good review of that.
Sorry, we couldn't answer that. We just
don't know.
If I'm DPing now, if Geoff DPs, that's his business. But if I'm DPing,
I don't like wide angle lenses.
I will not use a wide angle lens. I can't stand them.
My big thing is
unless I was getting hired to shoot for American Horror Story, then I'd use them.
Yeah, or a national park.
Well, that's different.
That'd be really, and that's the only other thing I'd use it for.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, maybe National Geographic. I'll go there. But they usually
7.5,
are shooting in national parks.
I guess that's a 15, so a 15 mil.
It's a pretty wide angle lens.
If it's planar, I'm cool with it, but if it's not planar, I'm out.
Keep on doing the editing in Lightroom before. Still about the first one of the time lapses.
Yep. Geoff,
waves are small here too in Miami. That's why we wakeboard. Actually, we have a decent amount of wakeboards.
I would not get in the water if I were in Miami. Look, I went to the beach in Miami one time, right? And I'm not exactly a fit guy. I'm not unfit for Alabama. I'm just not fit, right? I went to Miami, and the people down there were so ripped and so beautiful. Men, women, dogs. The dogs had bigger muscles than me. All I remember being in Miami was people laughing at me on the beach, and I was like, I'm out. And that was it for me. So, Geoff, I like Miami because you're there, but that's about it. And Cuban sandwiches. Big fan.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong, the eye candy's great, but then, like, at my age, at 40, at Geoff's age, at 60...
The eye candy until you look down at your eye candy. It's a big old gut.
Hey, look, in Roman times, that big belly meant we were loaded.
I know.
So me and Geoff must be loaded.
Which isn't true at all.
With fat and bullshit.
Exactly. No! Let's see, Trev at Technopilot, LRT, or LR time-lapse. I've never used it. I know that conversation goes farther down. I have heard it's really great. So, yeah, that's that. They don't surf in Alabama. They just roll on the tide. Yeah, Jamie, that's...
What is wide to you? I don't know. Wide is a whole different thing. In fact, it's funny. You often see wide. It's actually spelled WDE here. It's football season, folks.
It is football season. You're going to have a lot of Alabama-Auburn jokes for...
That's because they're fans. The reason that Auburn's Auburn's call sign is WDE is because it stands for the kind of trailers they live.
I'll give you that. That's actually pretty damn funny.
Yeah!
I'm surprised that an Alabama fan hadn't said that before, though.
Because we're not smart enough, except for me.
That's very true.
This is the secret of NIM, and I'm the rat getting us all out of the saving hole. I don't know what that means.
I don't either. You should stay in that saving hole for a while.
I'm fit
okay, there we go. Totally backwards.
Aspen, are you laughing at me for saying I'm fit for Alabama? Okay, never mind.
I think we're all fit for Alabama, actually.
Yeah, everybody here is fit for Alabama.
I can see using it for a wedding, the 7.5. A lot of people do that wide angle shot stuff there. Yeah.
No, I'm fit for Alabama. I'm not unfit for Alabama. We're fit for Alabama. We're unfit for Miami. Specifically, apparently, South Beach, which wherever I was, I'm telling you, there was barely bikinis on. The ladies were beautiful, and they were gorgeous. The dudes were beautiful, and like I said, the dogs had bigger muscles than me. It was just, like, too much for me.
And that was the Chihuahua, probably. Huh? With tiny puppies.
Yeah, it was a Chihuahua.
Wasn't like a pit bull.
No. Well, clearly.
Even though pit bull does live in Miami.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
That was pretty terrible.
That was a really weird...
That's pretty terrible.
Awkwardly long joke.
It was.
I didn't understand what the hell you were saying.
I didn't get it until the very end of it myself.
Yeah.
So...
Somebody's still watching this show right now like, when are they going to tell us the secret about the Mavic? There's no secret about the Mavic.
So can I tell what happened to the drone we were using yesterday? Because I've never seen that happen before. And that was
Go
one of the
ahead, I don't
funniest
care.
things ever.
I don't care.
So we were doing a shot.
Now, wait a second. Predicate, please, that I was not the pilot of
Neither one of us were the pilot or touched this drone beforehand.
No.
So we were doing a shot of a guy in the back on 100mm. Drone flies up in between the camera and the person. Safe distance from both. So we were testing it before we did the shot. Motor starts up. All 4 blades start going. 3 blades stay down. 1 blade shot straight up. Never seen that happen before on a drone in my life.
It was pretty delightful. So there was a blade up, drone, cover moment. It wasn't very fast. Like, you could have caught it.
No, it kind of came up and it was like it ballooned. Just went down.
But it was pretty funny.
It was funny.
It's like, all right, fire up the drone. It was like, and then just, yeah, it was great.
Pretty embarrassing for that guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
Okay. What do we got? 240, we're in good shape. We've done our duty. We've done our time.
Trev blames Drew for his current physique. I blame him for mine all the time, though, for the bacon stuff that we did last year.
Dude. You should, if you're not watching the burger blog, which is what our show should have been called.
Yeah, that's what your show should have been called. You
Actually,
just finally got off of it, but now that we're getting ready to travel again, we can restart the burger blog.
No. You guys have yet to experience, and I'm going to document it.
We've got to do a PIP.
We call it PIP, or PIP, and that is when we wrap a day, and there's a place in Atlanta we like to go to, and you can do this in any town, but this place is very cool. Imagine like a hipster mall. Oh no, it's a hipster food court. So all the restaurants.
It's a hipster market.
It's a hipster. Okay,
because there is other hipstery kind of stores in there.
But okay, fine. A market is the nice way of saying it's a food court, essentially. There's seating. So you go to this place, and they have, I mean, it's really, the food is amazing. There's like little pockets. There's a barbecue place, a sandwich joint. There's like a Korean place. There's all kinds of stuff. But there's one thing that stands out to me and Jeff, and there's a Neapolitan pizza, which is maybe the best pizza in Atlanta that we've had. And it's a spicy pizza. It's very delicious. I think we've talked about it, but if we haven't, I'm going to tell you again. It's amazing. It's delicious, right? So me and Jeff will often, after a long day of shooting, we'll go to this place. There's also a Hop City there, which means there's beer on draft. So that's golden. They actually have really good beer at this pizza joint. So we sit at this bar. We order a pizza. We eat it. We walk about 17 steps or less to an ice cream, which is Annie's ice cream. Annie's? Jenny's ice cream. We walk to a Jenny's ice cream, and then we have some ice cream. We already had a beer, then we have some ice cream. We might go drink more beer, but then
we had beers before we got there. Too.
Yeah, of course.
That's kind of what
started. And then the night ends with a pizza, and we take it back with us. So we gluttonize ourselves into dairy hell, and the and the odors that come out of that hotel room, man, are brutal. But I will tell you, pizza, ice cream pizza, PIP, is the most delightful experience you can ever have. So you need about 2 pieces of pizza, some ice cream, 2 pieces of pizza. If you really want to overdo it, you have about 4 pieces of pizza, some ice cream, and 4 pieces of pizza. Pizza, ice cream, pizza is like our new obsession. It's our favorite thing. If we have Fest, I'm going to make sure that happens.
Winnipeg says that we should have a burger grilling contest also at Fest.
I'll smoke you, bro. I can't be stopped. I got the umami clone. You can't even... Umami burger, you can't even touch it. I can destroy everyone in my path. I'm talking trash. Been watching a lot of wrestling.
You are. I'll come in there.
MPEG probably would have beat me with science.
I'll come in there and do it.
He blinded me with science.
He probably will blind us with science.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to challenge MPEG to anything. I know he's smarter than me. I don't doubt it. And I see his...
And he can run faster.
I was about to say, and I see his feet that he can run faster than me. So at the end of the day, I lose. Not fair. Though he did give me a nice uplifting message.
Did he? Yeah. That you're not as fat as me, probably.
No, it had to do with being a parent. It was maybe I printed it out because it means I could tear up over it because I'm an emotional dude, but it meant a lot to me. Something I can do like an 8-hour brisket. Okay, bro, let's do some brisket.
Brisket challenge.
Brisket challenge. I'm all for it. You say.
Your gut says what?
Who's in Navarre?
Maurice.
Maurice, you're in Navarre? You're like right there. You're not far from us whatsoever.
Very close, buddy.
We're in Mobile, bro.
I already told him. Oh. He asked. I've been talking.
Yeah. Maurice, you're right there. You could have brought your camera and I could have helped you with it.
I'm in Pensacola all the time, actually.
Yeah, we love Picola. Okay.
True impact. That's what I would do too. If I ran, I would eat, but I just eat.
So we have to pack. We have another shoot tomorrow. Yet another craft show adventure on the same sort of journey of chaos and magic. I'll post this footage at some point in a couple of days, maybe today. I don't know when. I'll post it in 4K so you guys can take a look at it. Meanwhile, Geoff is going to actually take a lot of people's advice and take that ether content and
that starts this week at some point.
Take it to HDR.
Take it to 2020 HDR.
Yeah.
See where it goes.
That could be interesting.
Could be.
Or terrible.
Yeah. I got that. And then this weekend I might be making a little final part to something.
Oh yeah, he's supposed to finish this.
Yeah.
It's on you.
I know it is. It's totally on me. And this weekend I think I actually have time to do
Eva Part 3.
Yeah.
Geoff will actually look at the footage this time. We have that. We just haven't been able to put it out.
I'll actually finally sit down and see what the footage looked like. No, we've seen it before.
Yeah. All right, well, if you guys are out shooting or working or busy or just having fun or whatever it is, look, just enjoy everything you do.
Doing it.
Yeah, have fun doing it. Because if you're not having fun doing it, question why you're doing it. Unless there's a ton of money involved. And then don't question it at all. Or hookers and blood. Either way.
Yes, Huawei, I will send it to you as soon as we get off. Email response to Huawei. Yeah. That's my fault.
All right.
Yes, can we run the Mavic footage again?
Yes.
For Vikings.
You know what? We'll take it out.
For Vikings.
For Vikings. Do it for you. So everybody in the chat room, raise your hand and say aloud in your office, wherever you are, for Vikings. Ready? 3, 2, 1. For Vikings! Oh, I got to fix the audio. Hold on. Hold on. This is why I would make a terrible Viking.
And yes, Technopilot, have seen it. We talked about it. Talk about it next show.
What?
Free flight carbon.
Oh, yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. For Vikings, take 2. For Vikings.
1, 2, 3, take for Vikings.